Good morning, LL Nation. What's good with it? Back in this piece. Seemed like we just left. Back again. Today's show is dedicated once again to the strengths and concerns going into the Fiesta Bowl for Notre Dame. As always, we're brought to you and featuring Onora Whisky. Go to OnoraWhisky.com. It's that premium American whiskey, OnoraWhisky.com. You need something to sip on for New Year's. Go over there
That's
to
right.
whisky.com, get you some of that smooth premium American whiskey.
The
So,
smoothest.
the smoothest. I'm Shaun Davis at SD2 Mics. That guy, the original Luckky Lefty himself, Malik Zaire at Overtime Malik. Name of today's show is Tipping Points, right? What are the tipping points in this matchup going into the Fiesta Bowl? We're going to hear from offensive coordinator Tommy Rees. Also going to hear from All-American tight end Michael Mayer. And we might replay some of Marcus Freeman's press conference just to reiterate some things we talked about. We love and thank everyone that is supported, subscribe, continue to watch, continue to share. Don't forget, hit that like button. More importantly, hit the like button right now if you're watching. So yesterday we were accused of something. You know,
What we accused of?
I love interacting with fans after the show, especially in the comments. And we were accused of being the leaders of the Marcus Freeman hype train. So, we were talking. We were like, cool. It's another T-shirt.
Oh, the T-shirt. We
Leaders
got
of
a
the
whole
hype.
collection now.
Yeah, leaders of the hype train. That's us. We're cool with it.
Definitely cool with it, especially with all the moves he's making. He's backing our talk up. So continue to keep making great headlines and Oscar nominating speeches when you up there, man. It's gonna be a great year for you.
Absolutely. This was the sad part though. This individual who's not even worthy of being named, in my opinion,
Here we go.
um, said name one black head coach that's ever done anything in college football. So that's the direction they were coming from. And so, I politely had to mention some of the greats, especially before integration. And then jokingly at the end, being petty, so you can put me on the petty train today. I said, did you like the first 6 years? The first 5 years, not the first six, but the first 5 years of Brian Kelly's tenure when that black coach at Stanford was banging on him.
Every day.
So
David Shaw getting right.
so I mean, hey, you know, I had to be petty just a little bit.
That's right.
But today we're all about the positivity, man. You know what? Give me, we're going to go through it. We're going to talk about running backs, offense, defense, running backs, wide receivers, defensive backs, and linebackers. Pretty much each position group. Give me your level of concern with the Notre Dame quarterbacks going into this matchup against Oklahoma State.
I'm
Scale of
at
one.
like a I'm like at a 4 or 5.
Hmm.
Just seeing what we look like without Kyron Williams and who is Jack Cohn's safety blanket, knowing they'll probably double some Michael Mayer. Uh, but it's a chance to is go in two directions. Is Tommy going to take hold and grasp of the total offense and using more of our talent, especially with our big major uh, major piece missing? Is he going to be able to get everybody else involved and still produce points with a quarterback that is very capable in this game with Jack Cohn?
Yeah.
How much of Tyler Buckner are we going to see, and how prepared is he? Has he been getting during these 15 practices? And so the quarterback situation is definitely a 4. It's not a anything higher than a 5 because I feel like we should win the game. I think we're more talented than this team going in, but missing 23 and 14 it's going to be interesting. And now we're missing Josh Lugg with a guy, Blake Fisher, filling in. So that O-line protecting Jack Cohn in this game, I think it'll be uh, a tough start just filling them out. They may get a sack or two early, but hopefully the game plan is similar to like the Patriots. We're able to give Jack opportunities to get some screens in there, get some handoffs, take the
Mhm.
pressure off of him. Don't put him in third and long situations. And I think we'll be good. But right now it's just a 4 or 5.
4 or 5. So let's go right to perfect segue. What you were talking about, Blake Fisher indeed will be starting at right tackle for Josh Lugg. And for those of you who missed it on yesterday, Marcus Freeman did discuss that in his press conference, what happened with Josh Lugg and the prognosis and what happened as far as medically how they took care of that.
We're in an 11-on-11 situation, and he kind of just planted the wrong way. It is a minor meniscus tear, but he's had it for a while. And I think when he planted it, kind of flipped the meniscus a little bit more where, you know what, we said, hey, we're going to have to get this thing fixed right away. And so he's had it throughout the season, and he's been able to fight through it. And then I think just when he planted the wrong way, I think a part of that meniscus flipped up, and they had to go and clean it right away.
Man, that just made my knee hurt. It just flipped up, huh? That's football. That's a dude that played football. When you talk about the meniscus like that, like, oh, it just flipped up. Man, that's painful. I'm sorry. I think you're muted.
That's a great way to explain it. Marcus Freeman is the most truthful college football coach in America. So right now, describing that as a football player, it's a little calming considering he's not giving it too many dramatics. He's kind of downplay it, but it's definitely a serious enough injury to
Yeah.
where you can kind of picture it being a little uncomfortable, especially for a guy weighing over 275.
So with that being said, your level of concern, Blake Fisher, talented. As a true freshman, to be identified as being able to start at left tackle from game one. Ronnie Stanley didn't even do that. I mean, there's been some left tackles at Notre Dame that never did that, never started from game one. So to identify him to be able to do that, and then coming back after injury, his first game in a bowl game, the intensity will probably be a little bit higher than it was down at Doak Campbell Stadium, or Doak Walker Stadium. I'm sorry. What's your level of concern with Blake Fisher specifically and the offensive line going into this game?
Well, Blake's very talented, so I think early on, I think a lot of what I would be concerned from like a 8 or a 9 is more like a 5 or a 6 for Blake Fisher because he's so talented. The injury makes it a 4 or 5 because if it wasn't an injury, I'd really say a 2 or 3. So just coming back from an injury, it's a 4 or 5 just to test the waters. He hasn't had live action on his knee like he has or will have in the game. And he's going against some savvy players on that front four. So he's going to see some things that's going to introduce him early into the game, but it's the type of experience we talked about yesterday is what he's going to need going into the spring to gauge himself, not only coming back from injury, but getting more of that college experience heading into the next year where he's going to be even more dependent on. So I do think that it's a 4 or 5 for Blake Fisher for myself. I believe because he's so talented to be able to start the first game out and to have so much fanfare behind him and him doing well in that game up until the point of him getting hurt, I feel like his talent is going to take over as the game grows on and on. So he's going to be able to find a way to lean on the guys around him and really just let himself play through the game. I don't think it's going to be too big of a moment for him. As an offensive line in general, I think as long as we got our center, Jared Allen, really just holding it down. And this is what Jared Patterson, this is what he's made for, being able to pull these guys together in a situation like this where we're at that point where we're trying to cross over as well. And from being an average O-line to being a more dominant O-line. And then I think so for concern for O-line is about a 4 or 5. I think we are presenting a great challenge with this Oklahoma State front 7. But I think Tommy Rees is going to be able to put these guys in position where it's not just going to be them defending guys pinning their ears back. I think we're going to keep them off balance. We're going to try to get them caught in some different stunts, maybe with the run game and that running back core.
Yeah.
I think they're going to feel a lot more comfortable blocking for that running back stable as the game goes on as well. I think our overall team strength on the offensive line will wear on those guys by the fourth quarter, and we should be fine.
Yeah, you have two freshmen on the edges protecting the quarterback, man. That's really unheard of. But the success of it, for it to be successful in the bowl game, would be a great story. And coming from O-line U, it would make sense. Like, man, what program can go into a bowl game with two freshmen at tackle and get the job done?
Seriously.
O-line U can.
Yeah, and I definitely think they're more prepared than the average freshman O lineman.
Fact.
So they're more talented. We're recruiting top guys every year in the country at O line, so it's not like this is a guy's first time playing football out there that we're concerned that he may not be ready. So this is something where it's more like how we look at a pro coming back in the NFL after an injury, where it's like he's going to pick off from where he left off, probably get a couple of drives to get back into the swing of things, but overall he'll be all right.
Level of concern connected with that. You talked about the stunts, blitz pickup, level of concern in totality with the running back situation without Kyron Williams going into this bowl game.
I think pass protection, I'm probably at a 7 or 8. Just because even if they understand, you got to be able to react based off of how it goes in the game, which is something you can't really practice. So I think it's going to be interesting considering they have an experienced defense of a unit, and they're going to show us some different looks that they probably practice specifically for the game plan.
Yeah.
So I know that, and I know they're going to blitz considering they know that we don't have Kyron. So I think they're going to present a challenge for us in the pass protection because Jack's not going to be Lamar Jackson in his way through the defense. So I think the onus on the running backs knowing their responsibilities in the pass game are going to be crucial, but it is one of the bigger concerns I have for the team in going through this game.
This is where the steadiness of Jack Cohn comes in, right? When you have that concern, him being able to properly align the running backs, recognize where the blitz is coming from pre-snap, and then, of course, him working in tandem with Jared Patterson to be able to slide the offensive line in the right direction. It's going to be very key. I mean, that to have that center and quarterback combination, regardless of what's going on around you at the tackles and at the running back, it kind of eases your concerns a little bit having those two guys. Because Jack Cohn has worked himself into a position to make a roster in the NFL as an unsigned free agent. I really believe that. And I believe he can stick. I really do.
Yeah, Jack's definitely going to find his way on the team. He's got the personality. He's not a guy that's going to threaten the number one guy and where you're going to be like, oh, he's going to be a problem. So,
but he can make a lot of money, though. Backups make a lot of money.
He's definitely fit the profile of a guy that's going to make some good money in the league, at least a good retirement pension, being able to just be a good team guy. It's not about him. He's going to know what he's going to have to do, and he can survive the game if you put him in there. So I think for him, this is one of his biggest opportunities to really take hold of this game and put it on the team on his back. He's got enough young guys that are looking up towards him in this game for direction and leadership to where I think he'll find himself in a comfortable position in this game where I don't think the moment will get too big for him to where he feels like he's dealing with a lot of young guys out there.
Yeah, just thinking back, man, I'm mixing up my awards and my stadiums. It's Doak Campbell, Doak Walker is the award. I had to laugh about that. I saw somebody say it in the chat saying they remembered it from playing NCAA football, which is funny because I know most of the fight songs in college football from playing NCAA football.
Straight up.
By the way, shout out to everybody giving love to the interview with Jerron Jones. former Notre Dame defensive tackle yesterday. Great interview. You can go and watch it on Luckky YouTube page.
Mm-hmm.
It was a fantastic interview. Great insight into the program, especially him regretting not letting
Harry
Heaston
Houston,
hold
yeah,
up
straight up.
for 4 years. He felt like, yo, it just talks about the impact of Harry Houston when you have a defensive tackle in Notre Dame saying, yeah, I think I made the wrong choice, not being coached by Harry Houston, and
That's right.
ultimately working my way to the NFL via offensive line. You know what? Michael Mayer and the wide receiver corps. I want to get your level of concern for them, but I want to go to Michael Mayer at the press conference, and Michael Mayer was talking about the impact that these practices and the way they've been going. He feels like they're going to have an impact on the game, especially early on.
Number one, it's been the practices. The practices have been more upbeat, more up tempo, a little bit more against our own defense. And for me, I think it's been great. It's got me better in shape. I think the team can agree. It's a little bit more competitive, a little bit more energy on the field, and I think that's something that's been great for this team, and I think it'll show this weekend.
So once again, just competing on a daily basis. I mean, this is the third player that said he feels like he's breaking a sweat that he didn't break a sweat in most practices, and he feels like he's in better shape going into the new year than he was in the middle of the season. That bodes well.
Yeah, and I think that's important too for a guy like Michael Mayer to still feel that competitiveness as well as being in shape. You know, it's not easy being double teamed throughout the entire game as well as playing tight end for Notre Dame. So that in shape thing was a key for me when I heard him say it, because now I know that fourth quarter, him and Jack are going to be hooking up and linking up at the right times to convert on something that we'll probably need by that time in the game.
Yeah, so of course, he is the main target, especially with Kyron Williams being out. I'm pretty sure that the defensive coaches and also the defense of the Cowboys will be looking to take Michael Mayer away from Jack Cohn, especially as a first read or a second read, so they give that defensive line time to get to the quarterback. Michael Mayer anticipates being double teamed, and he gave his thoughts on that.
Going into the game, I think my mindset never changes. Even if I know they're going to double team me, I'm always still going to try to get open. I think Jack's still kind of trying to always find me with the ball. But if they're going to double team me, that's one less person that's going to be, on somebody else. So if it opens some other people up, then that's perfect. I mean, it's all about winning at this point. One more game left of the season. So if they want to double me, that's fine. I'll still try to get open. I'll still try to get the ball, but it'll open some other people up.
Yo, that's the most important thing. The others. See, that's what I want to get at. When we start talking about the pass catchers and your level of concern, or if I think it might be the biggest strength going into this game, honestly, especially looking at the secondary and the way Oklahoma State plays. A lot of yak to be made out there. If you hit receivers on the run, it's a lot of yak to be made. The tight ends for the Baylor Bears had a field day against this defense. I have to remind you. And we're not talking about tight ends that are equal to Michael Mayer in talent.
That's
and
right.
Athleticism. And they had a field day against this defense. So if they're going to try and take away Michael Mayer, it's a lot of speed at the wide receiver position that can get loose in the middle of that zone, or even when they go man to man.
And this is exactly what we were talking about earlier in terms of it's going more on Tommy the more and more we think about it, because this is not something that we're not used to. They've been doubling Michael Mayer all season, and we've been frustrated with the other guys not being involved as much. So this is no different than any other point we were in the season. If anything, I would compare it more to Cincinnati and saying, okay, these are comparable guys that can do a good enough job to distract us from Michael Mayer to where he's a better decoy in some situations. So who are you game planning for to get the ball to outside of Michael Mayer? And that's the strategy that is going to be important, because we know, just like he knows, that they're going to double him. We're still going to try for him, but with no Avery Davis, no Kyron Williams, and Kevin Austin really being a primary on the outside, what are you calling for those guys in the in between hashes and guys that catch the ball on the run, and who's going to be those guys you're looking towards? Because missing two guys with an Avery Davis and a Kyron Williams on offense is a little different considering, all right, are you going to put the ball in Styles' hand and catch it more than what, 5 or 6 times in a game? That's way more than he's had all season, but that's something he's going to have to be called on potentially in this game alone.
So the attention they pay to Michael Mayer is going to open up. Now, this is the thing, because we probably think it's Kevin Austin and Michael Mayer, 1-2 in progressions for most plays, right? Going to this game in the passing game. I don't think they have anybody, especially if he's going to continue to work on the inside. I think Lorenzo Styles Jr. can have a humongous game.
And that's what it is. Yeah, and that he's going to have, I'm being, light by saying 6 or 7, but he can have up to 8 or 9 catches or at least 10 or 12 touches in a game where they don't have a matchup for him, in my opinion, specifically.
Yeah.
And this is something where Tommy has to progress as an offensive coordinator and be like, okay, let's just say they take away Michael Mayer. Kevin Austin, I don't want to do one-on-ones all day on the outside. We got to throw some reverse. We got to get some quick stuff to the inside guys with Styles and Braden Lindsey maybe. Use some running backs in there, so this will be interesting to see how he calls it. Now, when he did call it against Clemson, he put together a great game plan, in my opinion. I think we fell short on talent when it came down to executing when we needed to. But from a game plan standpoint, I thought it was called well enough to, if we had the guys, we can go and make it a tougher game than what it was.
So we talk about Lorenzo Styles Jr., but the man that's left out is Braden Lindsey. That's your game breaker. Now, granted, Braden dropped a lot of touchdowns early in the season.
Yeah.
2 or 3 games consecutively, like he was behind the defense, ball right in his hands, just dropped it. But he is such a game breaker with his speed, and I think he's become much better at the wide receiver position as a technician running routes. He can be a weapon as well, just getting the ball in his hands on screens, jet sweeps, or whatever. I mean, it's a lot. I'm very interested in what Tommy Rees shows as far as window dressing to give Oklahoma State a lot to look at pre-snap and even like during the snap.
Yeah, he's definitely going to have to do that considering this is a team that's experienced. So there's not too many things they haven't seen.
Right.
But you just need to be able to slow them down when they do decide to bring the house or give them something to think about when you're trying to get some runs off with younger guys, trying to get the holes a little bit more open. So it's going to be important to use a guy like that. Also, with a guy like Braden Lindsey, he's had to become more of a technician because he hadn't had the quarterbacks necessarily either to be pushing the ball down the field where he's most comfortable at. So sometimes not always the receiver. It just could be the chemistry. You think of Odell and Baker.
Yeah.
Separately, they're good, but together they just didn't work as well. That's not diminishing either one of their talents, but together it just may not have been the best fit, like a Deshaun Watson and a DeAndre Hopkins situation. So maybe, with a Dante or a Nico, that relationship could be stronger to where they get the ball to him in spots that he likes. So this is something where Braden Lindsey's game he's only a threat as much as he's involved in offense. And so I think Tommy's going to do a great job. Like I said, he's got a lot more onus is on him because in that receiver room, we do have the ability to create mismatches against this team, even though they are good. It's just how we use them and execute and put guys in positions where they like basketball, where they like to catch and shoot.
Now, this defense of Oklahoma State is – we talked about this, I think, Monday in our episode. We compared the defenses. A lot of people are saying that this would be the toughest defense that Notre Dame faces all season. And I kind of pushed back on that a little bit because I just felt like, the continuity and the consistency of Jim Leonard and that Wisconsin defense. And I just think the linebackers at Wisconsin are far more athletic and more talented than these linebackers. The defensive line, you can give the edge to Oklahoma State over Wisconsin. But the front seven in totality and having Jim Leonard as the defensive coordinator, that just changed everything for me, because if you look at all of the DFEIs and everything, all the analytics of it, they're 2 and 3. Like Oklahoma State is number 2 in certain categories. Wisconsin's number 2 in certain categories. But for me, Jim Leonard pushes everything over the top. And don't forget, Jim Knowles is in Columbus. So they don't have Jim Knowles giving the defensive calls for this game. So I think Wisconsin was a tougher matchup. And the reason I'm mentioning that, I remember post-game, Brian Kelly was very honest about them not wanting to try and run the ball against that front seven because of how good the linebackers were and how good the defensive line was. And they didn't want to waste time trying to run the ball. They wanted to spread them out and throw the ball, which led to Jack, taking hits and being sacked early on. And the offensive line wasn't as good as it is now, or wasn't as settled, especially at the tackle position. So with all of that being said, stout defensive line, Brian Kelly isn't over Tommy Reed's shoulder anymore. So going into this game, is Tommy Reed saying, man, you know what? We're more talented outside. We're more talented and more athletic with our receivers and our tight ends. Let's just get our athletes into space and spread it out, spread them out, open it up. Or do you think, as you said before, there needs to be a commitment to running the ball to be able to soften them up for later in the game?
Well, Aaron, I think we should do a combination of both, but I think we do need to establish running the football early. I think if we get out there and try to spread them out and pass all day on them, I don't think that's Jack's game that can win us the game necessarily. I think he's more in the position of making crucial drives as opposed to just coming out firing on all cylinders. I think it takes a team effort around Jack for him to stay in that pocket of not giving the game away. He does have times where he can drop back and you'd be like, oh no, and he'd throw it right to the other team. I think that's what Oklahoma State would want us to do, to go away from the run game and not even commit to it, because it plays better in their hands, because then that's where we get the exotic blitzes. That's where we get the ears pinned back. That's where we get the long third downs to convert. And without having a Kyron Williams in that pass protection, I don't think we want to live in that 3rd and 8+ range on most of our drives. Not saying that we couldn't get it, but that's not where we want to have our most success. So I do think that you don't want to do anything Jack's not comfortable with, because he's not an off-script type of guy.
Yeah.
So being on brand is probably the best thing for Jack. And even in the Wisconsin game, he was getting pretty jacked up. He didn't even finish that game, So that's not something where I would want to have a repeat of. So if I had to learn from the Wisconsin game, I would commit a little bit more to the run. I'm not saying they got to run. You got to have more than 3 rushing yards, So if we can have more than 3 rushing yards, I think we can keep Jack healthy and also more dangerous later in the game where he's really crucial. I don't think he's the first half champion that maybe I would like to see. And maybe that's where Tyler Butler can come in and maybe rip off some explosive plays in the first half. Yeah. But I'm much more of a Jack fan in the second half, where it's getting gritty. He can use his experience and he doesn't have to force it because the game is close and he can win it in a close game.
Yo, Lucky Lefty Podcast. I'm Shaun Davis at SD2 Mics. Malik Zaire, the original Lucky Lefty himself at Overtime Malik. We are discussing biggest strengths and big concerns for Notre Dame heading into the Fiesta Bowl. You know what? You just said something that kind of took me back. I was a backpacker, right, bro? Mm-hmm. Like growing up, I was a backpacker. And, every now and then I would spit my rhymes. I would tag, do some things. I used to like to break dance too, right? So when I got to high school, here in Chicago is really big on basement parties, right?
Okay.
Because a lot of people don't know, especially down south. People down south, they usually don't have basements in their homes.
Yeah.
In certain areas. here in Chicago, everybody pretty much has a basement, and basement parties were huge growing up.
Huge and hot.
And, I held up the wall at basement parties, man. I really did. I held up the wall at basement parties because in basement parties, the dance floor is like very limited and crowded. You know what I mean? And, you know, I was a creative, so it wasn't like I was about to go into a crowded dance floor and start like doing the helicopter and doing all the stuff I can do.
Because they had to pay you for that.
Right. And that to me, that's Jack Cohn and his Notre Dame offense. Like,
that's right.
If it's a crowded dance floor, if it's a crowded backfield, they can't catch the rhythm, you know, because it's a rhythmic offense. You know,
that's right.
Yeah, drop back, get it out on rhythm. Read pre-snap, look, get the ball out of his hands. And when a dance floor, when the pass rush and offensive line and running backs aren't doing their job, and that dance floor gets crowded, man, Jack Cohn can't catch his rhythm. And it seems like the offense gets boring because it seems like, they're the dudes holding up the wall at the party. And for me, you know, that's the task for Tommy Reeves. Like, man, how do you keep the dance floor clear? How do you keep it clean so it's inviting for Jack Cohn and it's inviting for the success, you know, of this offense in the Fiesta Bowl? That's going to be the biggest challenge. Now, if you took me to, like, you know, the sock hops in the big gyms, and I had room to where everybody could be over here dancing and the creatives could be over here doing their thing, I was rocking out.
That's right.
I did my thing. Yeah, because I wasn't a big slow dance dude at the end of the party. You know, I had my numbers in my pocket by the end and I was gone.
That's right. That's right.
Like, you know, I grew into that, you know, but it's like, yeah, man, you know, it wasn't until college where I was like, okay, now I'm comfortable on a crowded floor. Like, I know how to maneuver. But when I was young, I couldn't. So for me, that's how I correlate to Notre Dame and this offense going on. Oklahoma State is going to try to break up the rhythm.
That's right.
They're going to try to make the dance floor very crowded for Jack Cohn. And we already know Jack Cohn has 2 left feet. It's not like he doesn't have too much rhythm back there in that pocket to be able to move left, right, or up in the pocket. So we need to make sure the dance floor is clean for Jack Cohn and these wide receivers.
And that's right. I even take it a step further. Tommy's the DJ. So it really needs to be Tommy playing the right songs. Keep it on that Elvis Presley, that Rick Roll, some of that good Phil Collins. So you can allow Jack to get his rhythm. If he start playing that DMX and Snoop Dogg in the club, and Jack's caught on the dance floor, it's gonna be people bumping into him, stepping on his feet, you know, trying to get him hyped up in the circle, and it'll be bad. You know, he won't come out with no numbers or nothing. So it's important that him and the DJ are on the same page. If he about to play some DMX or some 2 Chainz, he can give Jack the signal to be like, hey, it's time to head on out. You know, protect yourself. Let everybody else get involved, right? Let Kevin Austin get this one, or let Logan Diggs get this one. You ain't got to dance with all the girlies. You know, save the right songs for you. So I think that's just what it comes down to. Let Jack get his right songs, and when it's not his turn, you know, tell him to hold up the wall a little bit. You know, let some other people go up in there. So I think that's a great way to put it, and that's just what we got to do. Stay on brand. Don't let the don't let the excitement of the club, you know, get you wanting to play out of character and looking crazy.
Yeah, and with a little bit more excitement, there's nothing wrong, because people hear this and automatically they think about 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Play to your defense. Play to your strength with this offense. That means jump out early, get points, and unleash that defensive line on Spencer Sanders. You know, because the talk around this game has been Oklahoma State's defensive front.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that's not the only dominant defensive front in this game. I don't think Oklahoma State has seen a defense like they're about to see in the Fiesta Bowl. Like, nobody's talking about that. We've seen stout defenses. We've seen Cincinnati. We've seen Wisconsin. You tell me the defense Oklahoma State has seen, that's equal to what they're about to see in the Fiesta Bowl.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
I don't think they
And I think and it's underrated because people are so used to seeing Oklahoma State against other Big 12 teams where they're throwing the ball over the lot. They're doing everything they want. They're averaging 700 yards a game. But that's not what we're used to doing, number one, on defense. So it's going to be a shock for a lot of Oklahoma State fans when it's 10 points in the first half possibly, where they're like, why are we not, running all these bubble screens and all this easy stuff we usually do to just play run and shoot. So this is going to be a different I think Oklahoma State's offense should anticipate this being a different style of game.
Yeah.
Because, Wisconsin is more of an on brand for us than Oklahoma State. So we're expecting to slug it out. Mm-hmm. We're expecting to be a little slow, low scoring. We're good at games like that. With Oklahoma State, they're going to be playing our style of football unless we, dance to the wrong songs. So it's going to be important for us in controlling the game to make sure they understand that they're going to have to be able to offensively not get too caught up in what they love to do because we're going to be able to make that real challenging for them.
Facts. So let us know, LL Nation, what's your biggest concern? We want to know what's your biggest concern or your biggest area of strength and confidence heading into the Fiesta Bowl. Let us know your biggest area of concern or the strength that you'll be holding on to going into and you feel confident about as we watch the Fiesta Bowl on January 1st. Let's go to the other side of the ball, my guy. Oh, before we get there, you talk about the DJ. Here's the DJ himself, Tommy Reeves, talking about Oklahoma State and anticipating them taking away or trying to double team Michael Mayer.
I think the biggest focus for them will probably be third down. How do we get a couple, people around him on third down? The kid at Iowa State, they literally put two guys on him and said, hey, we're going to take him away. And, you saw that if you watched the NFL, that you saw that against the Packers a couple of weeks ago. And, clearly third down, critical downs, maybe red zone, that will be part of what they want to do. There's a lot of unknowns right now with their defense, obviously with the change in coordinator and extra time to prepare on what they want to do. We got to be multiple in how we use Michael and make sure that we don't become stagnant with where we want to play him and find ways to create opportunities. And look, if they want to double him, that usually means we got a favorable matchup somewhere else.
Let me translate that poker face. So we went in between the lines of what Marcus Freeman said yesterday when, he was like, they play really hard. They just played, I watched the film and they play really hard. And we're like, whoa, Marcus Freeman, you're confident going to this game, right? Tommy Reeves right there, he was being really smug. He was being real smug at the end of that comment right there. Because Tommy was like, if that's what they want to do, if they want to double them, go ahead. Like, I got some tricks up my sleeve for that. Like, we see that every week. Like, that's nothing new. Every week, somebody tries to double team Michael Mayer. Number one, that doesn't stop him from producing. And number two, I got these dudes. I got these youngsters. I got these dudes that can run by you. So go ahead. Go ahead, pick your poison. Go ahead and double team them. We're gonna make a show.
And you can tell Tommy is pretty prepared or comfortable in understanding the defensive probability for their scheme just because that's what everybody should do in going against our offense. Yeah. I think because of that, he's already thought in his mind kind of how he sees the game playing out from who he's looking to get the ball to. I think Styles is a part of that. We've talked about that, but I also think too that, with that being said, how are we still going to attack this team and still be able to put points on the board? I think, if anything, this is where I believe having a quarterback coach could come in very handy in situations like these because this is a big game and it's a big game plan to execute and scheming a game like this. I'm just concerned how much is Tommy talking to his quarterbacks on a daily, getting them ready throughout the week, talking to them, making sure they're on the same page because it's hard. I've done the offense coordinator position. It's hard to. I know it's hard to. It's hard to be able to coach both. It's hard to be able to coach the quarterbacks specifically, game prepping them to get ready,
Yeah.
and it's to do at the same time as getting ready the offense to go out there and play and strategize and scheme for offense. Just I think it's more because of the time you spend game planning the offense against them. It's taking time away from you really making sure your quarterbacks know what they're getting themselves into and being on the same page as you. So this is where the benefit of having a quarterback coach comes in, because a big game like this, I know Tommy's thinking of third downs and what he's going to call, but at the same time, how are you communicating that to the guys that's got to go execute? So just making it a more stressful position for Tommy, even though he may feel like he's got the perfect calls. If Jack's not certain because you half in, half out, what's the result of the play going to be? So that's all that really matters, and having more heads in that room will be better.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you a second to think about this because I want you to take the running backs and the wide receivers, and I'm gonna ask you as the DJ, like what song would represent that particular player. I'm gonna go through some of these comments from our listeners, and then I want you to think about that, right? Because
What song?
yeah, for example, Lorenzo probably is real smooth. Like his glide is real smooth. So Tommy's probably putting on some Drake when he's unleashing. When he's unleashing Lorenzo, he's probably playing some Drake.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Okay.
I'm gonna come back to you in a minute. All right. Spark 5219 said his concern is the quarterback protection and backs picking up the blitz. Logan Diggs has had a lot of time. Chris Tyree has played a lot. So it's just live bullets, you just have to see it sometimes. You have to see it sometimes.
And just because they know, they still got to block it. And I think that's what the difference between Kyron and even backs in his draft class have is that Kyron going to put his face in there and actually defeat the blitz. It's low. I think Chris Tyree's a little too small to be trying to defeat head-on A-gap blitzes. Not saying that he don't know what he's doing, but that's not a guy. If I'm Jack Cohen, I would feel comfortable if I'm in the pocket. Chris Tyree taking on guys running full speed.
Right.
And the thing with Logan,
Aldrich, even if Aldrich's back there, he's bigger. You feel comfortable, but he hasn't seen it.
And it's even with Aldrich, you feel great until he doesn't see the guy coming at the back door.
Right.
So
right.
Now you're sacrificing big hits, which is something that as a quarterback you're thinking about in the back of your head as well. So that's kind of the catch-22 is that with all the running back by committees and all the things we can do running the ball, they're all about the same place when it comes to blocking so far, until we get in the game. So that's definitely a concern, which we talked about. And the O-line, with Blake Fisher coming and him still being young and the exotic things we know that Oklahoma State's going to present, how they adjust to it, I think this is another thing where Tommy is going to have to be ready for having a game plan for some of those looks. But him and Jack have been together long enough to where I think they can be they can do it. I think they can do it in this situation.
Rex Mike says, my biggest concern is OK State mental health issues after this game. You know what? We talked about Mike Gundy, but, dude, a couple of their players yesterday talked about, man, playing Notre Dame. It's almost like they are enamored with the opportunity to play Notre Dame. And I'm like, man.
I told you they want that Drake feature so bad. They said, man, a Drake feature would look great on my debut album, man. He gonna give me the Billboard top 10.
Right.
Man, I've been waiting on my life. I love his music. I love Notre Dame, seeing them on primetime TV because we play early. We play when it's hot outside. We get home and rush to our couches and take our showers, get ready to watch Notre Dame at night.
Yeah.
And that get to be us. Oh man, we can't wait.
Mike Gundy said they've been trying to get on Notre Dame's schedule for the past, I think he said 7 years. And he was like, dude, they're booked up to like 2033 or something like that. That's what he said. He was like, dude, we've been trying to get on that schedule, and we called, and they're like, yo, we're booked.
And I've been trying to get them Yeezys for a long time, and
You know
they
what I'm
be
saying?
taken up. Yeah,
It's like that five-star. It's like that five-star restaurant. Like, don't be the dude that calls the restaurant on February the 14th trying to make a reservation. Like, really?
No. Yeah, this
trying
ain't
to call
that
the morning of
restaurant.
Valentine's Day?
Yeah, we booked up for a good couple months.
Man,
Good couple months. So,
we got that all-star chef in the kitchen.
yeah, this is why I'm like, if teams can't wait to play us, how can we can't get no quarterbacks that can't wait to come? That's the difference.
Man, Lucky Lefty podcast, Shaun Davis, Malik Zaire. Let's get to some more of your concerns. Donnie Cruz says, biggest concern, 2 freshman tackles. Strength, our front 7. Yeah, I can agree with that. John Nessler, thank you for tapping in, John. My biggest concern is the O-line and blown assignments.
I don't know about blown assignments be like that's like I doubt that we're gonna have blown assignments. Will we get beat on the play? It can happen. You know, it's football, it can happen. But blowing an assignment is like a dude not even knowing he's missing a huge play that they probably practice all the time, getting ready, and he just gets jack crushed or like something crazy. It would have to be that's a blown. I don't think we'll blow any plays. But I think that sometimes when we get pressured enough to get sacked, maybe, you know, this is a good team. It's not no scrub program we're playing. So, yeah, they're going to have plays. We're going to have plays. But are we going to be able to sustain what we're trying to do all game? That's the key.
Michael Park says special teams. You know, special teams is something I'm really looking forward to watching because if it really was about competition, I'm excited to see if guys like Jaden Thomas, because there's definitely an opening at punt return with Kyron being gone. So I want to see if guys like Jaden Thomas or Lorenzo Styles Jr. are back there in the return game, getting them more opportunities with the ball in their hand. Chris Tyree is dynamic in kickoff return. So we've seen that. I'm not worried about that. And honestly, kick return coverage has been pretty solid.
I think this year. The competitive way we're practicing, I'm hoping we can get like Ohio State special teams. You know, they kickoffs be getting tackled on like the 10 to 15. Them boys be down there.
Right. Let's see. Michael Groves. Michael Graves. Biggest concern is mid-game adjustments. Let me tell you why this is not a concern for me. Every coach post-game, and we pointed it out with Bronco Mendenhall when he talked about the adjustment Marcus Freeman made from series to series to confuse his freshman quarterback. And every coach would talk about the defense and what they would do from game. Because, you know, it's early on, Marcus Freeman, they had trouble defensively, trying to do too much and trying to get the entire offense installed. The entire defense installed. And then he talked about like, yo, we had to scale it back, be simple, and just let these guys go play. And then he adjusted as he went on. It was an adjustment for him to go away from what he really wants to do against USC and North Carolina and play more of a defense that was going to keep the ball in front. And there was a couple of missed assignments, and that was the linebackers with their fits against North Carolina that allowed those big plays, especially in the run game. So it's going to be the same thing. These linebackers, you know, defensive line is going to be able to press the quarterback. Linebackers have to come down, make their run fits, and tackle. And the safeties have to be support to that. And on the back end, you know, you have the youngsters, Xavier Watts, and the youngsters on the back end, they've made plays, especially at the free safety position. So, you know, I'm not concerned about in-game adjustments from the defense. Offensively, I think that's the DJ. That's Tommy Rees.
Tommy Rees got to control that. And defensively, I think it'll be maybe one or two things that they'll probably have as a nuance just because it's a bowl game. They'll have more time to spend on it. Yeah. But I think we already know what Oklahoma State's generally about. They're not going to turn over their whole offense and just for this bowl game. I think that they'll have some things that they're looking to expose, but if anything, I think they're banking on us making open field tackles as opposed to them directly trying to scheme against something that we're doing. Credit to Marcus Freeman. I think he does a great job of keeping offensive quarterbacks on their toes, especially looking at different ways you bring in late pressures and you're rotating the coverage. So he's been doing a great job. Think about how he's been able to limit some of these potential NFL guys like Sam Howell. I mean, Sam Howell the week after us put up almost 60 points, but the week he played us, it was half of that. I think it's credit to Marcus Freeman giving him a lot of different looks and different pressures. And that's the same one here. I think Spencer Sanders isn't the same type of quarterback, so I don't expect the same type of production. I think we expect a better result. But Marcus Freeman, from an adjustment standpoint, he's definitely going to give him all he can handle. And so as long as he keeps fresh on that aspect of the scheme, then we'll be okay. But we got to remember, too, Elston is going to be a big hand in doing that because he's going to be calling more of the game, like Marcus Freeman said yesterday.
Yeah.
Offensively, like you said, man, Tommy just got to keep the vibe coming all night. Don't stale us out with no crazy B2K songs or no,
It was nothing
and
worse than a bad DJ at a party, bro.
there's nothing worse, and if you got your first 10 that is going to knock out the park, you can come back to. You can come back,
Right.
you can play a good jam.
Party with it, right.
You can play a good jam a couple times throughout the party and people will still rock with you. So I don't think we need to dig too deep in the crates. I think we got a lot of good vinyls already that we've seen and heard already that we like. So just keep it simple, man. Go to your playmakers. Michael Mayer, he's double, but he's not covered, So I think the more we can just give Jack the amount of tools we know he can survive with, the better. And even some up tempo. I think that Florida State game plan where we put up what was the most points all season because we was running a lot of fast-paced stuff. I think we should continue with that as well. And I think Jack did a really nice job at playing with tempo like that too.
And as a DJ, you got to read the crowd, my dude.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because the crowd is different. Like your playlist can't be the same in Chicago as it is in Detroit.
It cannot.
Your playlist can't be the same in Detroit as it is in Dayton, Ohio.
And Dayton, you definitely got to come with it.
You got to come with some, man. You got to dig in the crates. You got to throw in some local stuff that's popping, that's underground, and then you throw in some stuff that's popping everywhere. But you got to know your crowd, and Tommy Rees has to know. He has to read the room.
You can't be playing a bunch of radio singles.
The dogs are
hungry. They're going to work.
The dogs are hungry. That's what you've been establishing in all of these practices. Become dogs from the jump. Compete. Right. Don't have them on a leash. Don't come out with them on a leash, man. Come out aggressive. Come out with some DMX. You know what I'm saying? Like, get at me, dog. Like, for real. Like,
straight up.
Come out being aggressive, taking shots, and getting Oklahoma State back on their heels.
Yeah, give them everything they want and go early because it's a team where they're good enough that if you let them hang around, they're good enough to win. They're not here for no reason. And as much as they're anticipating this matchup, we got to come out like they want to take a shot at the king as well.
Yep. So, Brandon Plinser, shout out to you. Always joining in on LL Nation. We appreciate you. I'm getting pumped too. My girl asked me what you want to do for my birthday on Saturday. First of all, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
And I'm like, sit here and watch football. Duh. Hey, she can go to OnoraWhisky.com right now. Buy you some of that premium American whiskey. That'd be a great birthday gift.
Great birthday gift.
While she sits there and watches the game with you. That's
right. That's all we want. It's guys, we want the simple things, man. Just sit next to your boy, watch the game.
I like to be alone when I watch the game, bro. literally, I prefer the house to be empty when I watch the game.
No, I agree. On certain games, I agree because you just can't have people just walking in front of you, or
especially high intensity games. It's like, dude, don't
do that.
Don't ask me anything. Don't bother me. Like,
yeah, because Even
Yo,
if you say something too loud, I feel like you distracted me.
oh man, Michael Parks is right. The stage won't be too big for Jack Cohn. He's already played in the Rose Bowl. That's why I love him being a common effect, man. He's been a common effect for this team, this offense all year. And I think that's an advantage going into this game. Despite the ebbs and flows of a football game and how things may go, having Jack Cohn, especially late in the ball game, is an advantage for Notre Dame.
100%. And, he can even be relatable off the field for guys during that week of preparation. Just talking to guys on what it's like, him making it lighter at practice to where guys don't feel like this is too big of a moment. Something that Tyler Buckner can pick up from as well, just even moving forward, being like, man, Jack taught me this, and this when I was younger, and he can add that to his game. So I think there's a wealth of experience that Jack can provide these guys just from a bowl game being there. I don't think we're as hyped as Oklahoma State is about who we're playing.
Mm-hmm.
But I think because of that, we can stay more level-headed and focused, especially for these young guys, to perform at a high level.
Drunk Big O has an idea. Ghost ride the whip, bro. I think he's talking about his birthday. Bob Bortonaro agrees with us, bro. Leave me alone when the game is on. Like, just straight up. Just leave me alone.
Just straight up.
Man, don't say anything. If I need anything, I'll get up and get it myself.
I'll holler at you.
Man, straight up. Let's see. Omar Austin. Biggest concern is RG, and I'm most confident in Indy's front seven. We don't talk about that right guard position here on the Lucky Lefty podcast.
Nobody's giving our defensive line credit on how well. I think we're going to have a way bigger presence than their D line on our offense. I just think Isaiah Fauski. This is a game with him. I don't think their tackles have seen a guy like this before.
Yeah,
and I think he's going to take advantage. I think he's going to make it hard for Spencer Sanders to be comfortable.
Yeah,
he's going to rip off a few more sacks and. With the type of blitzes that Marcus Freeman's dialing up with Elston, yep. I think he's going to be in a lot of one-on-ones, and it's going to be a good turnout for him.
Let's see. A couple more of these comments. Johnny S., thanks for tapping in. O-line is a group effort. Communication is key. My concern is how they gel since Blake has not been in the lineup. He's just swapping out with Josh Love.
Yeah, I think it'd be less of an impact because he's in a group setting. There's 5 of them out there.
Yeah,
and because he's so talented, I doubt he's going to be the one looking like he doesn't know what he's doing. I think he'll look one of the best because he's that talented. So it's not like we're bringing in a kid from a lesser school and it's his first time playing at this type of level.
Yeah, you've been there, bro. You're more concerned in going into a bowl game if you lose your center.
Right.
From a communication standpoint, like that's if Jared Patterson had messed up his knee like a week before the game, it's like, yo, now we need to be concerned.
Yeah, that's right.
He's calling fronts.
He's calming guys down. He's pointing things out. So he's snapping the ball. Sure.
Yeah, that's the guy that you cannot get hurt. Like, matter of fact, you get a day out from the game, it's like, you're good. We'll see you tomorrow in the tunnel. Let's see. Yeah, Michael Park said, yeah, Starver who let the dogs out. So, bro, let's get to it, and we'll get back to some of your comments. Logan Diggs. Like, what song is Tommy putting on? What's he bringing in? Because, plus, Tommy has to be good with the transitions, bro. Like, what type of DJ do you like? You like a DJ that just scratches and plays the song, or just kind of like you can hear the next song coming through in the background?
I like how they start off with the sample and then they remix it into what it was remixed to. That's the type, yeah.
Okay.
So I need.
Okay, that's what's up.
So for Logan Diggs, I need to hit him up. I need to drop a hard Wayne, bruv, hit him up. You know we coming.
I see you
For
went Louisiana with
Diggs.
that. You went
Yeah,
Louisiana with that.
yeah. I had to. Logan Diggs got to come in here and let people know he's coming in, not even replace, but to step in as the next guy. And I think there's no better way than coming in making a lot of noise. So hit him up is definitely Logan Diggs' track for the night.
Brandon Plinser said, "Oh, my fault. Nuck If You Buck by Crime Mob."
Yeah. It's one of them. It's one of them type of nights. It's one of them type of nights.
Fellow man, the house cut from back in the day. Okay, I get you, Michael. See, that's some Chicago stuff, man. That's Midwest. When you start, see, people don't realize in a party, and most people that come to parties in Chicago, they're here like the hip hop and the old school, and then like the DJ go to like a full hour of house music. And like if you're not from Chicago, you're like, yo, what the hell is this?
What's going on? No, straight up.
But you're tweaking because the crowd is going crazy.
Yeah, they loving it.
Everybody from Chicago is going crazy. And you're like, what's going on? So that's why I say Tommy has to be able to read the crowd, and read his team, and know how they feel and what they're ready to do. So
that's right.
Aldrich Estime, the big boy, the banger. What's Tommy putting on when he's unleashing Aldrich Estime?
Man, I like Aldrich Estime, man. I think they got to go with Future and as F up some commas, man, because that's all I think about when he in there, just being bull in the china shop. He just going crazy. F up some commas. He getting to the bag out there, man. Just give it to him on 4th and 1, 3rd and 10. He's going right up the middle for that first down, man. Shout out to my guy Aldrich Estime, man. He's gonna be the new Jerome Bettis of Notre Dame.
Yo, I was thinking Aldrich is kind of like Lil John Crunk. You know, cats just bang into each other.
That's what I said. Like that's
like you know, just running everybody over. Just that mentality. Okay. Let's see. Pierre said Annie up for Aldrich Estime. Okay. Let's see. Brandon Plinson, Estime song is moved by Luda. Get out the way. Yeah, okay.
Straight up.
Mystical. Yeah.
Gotta go there.
Let's see. Man. No Vaseline, Ice Cube.
Hey, if we on that type of time, we really in the right place. You know, we gotta keep it clean now.
All right. So let's go Michael Mayer.
I gotta go country. The Boys in Town. Was it by Kenny Chesney?
Yeah.
Right. The Boys in Town or the Boys of Fall. One of them. Because, you know, it's one of them things where it's like them coming home and you just want to see a guy just get right. He just a real football player, man. Turn on the Remember the Titans soundtrack and just put on a Michael Mayer tape. And that's what you're going to get. Just some homegrown football, tough, taking big hits. Everything a football player embodies, that's a Michael Mayer. So the Boys will fall for sure.
Okay. Kevin Austin Jr., who, by the way, said he's still 50-50 on the NFL. Let me step out on a branch, which is what we do here at Lucky Lefty Podcast, and tell you, Kevin, until you get that full route tree down, I think you should come back. That's just my personal preference. No.
Yeah, he get a sneak peek.
I understand the injury concerns. What I'm telling you, bet on yourself.
Bet on yourself.
Bet on yourself. Bet on the talent. Come back, get better. That's just it. But Kevin Austin Jr.
Oh man, Kevin Austin. Oh, it's definitely Kendrick Lamar, "Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe," because him dropping these passes and
That's
not
good.
coming through is gonna kill my vibe. For sure.
and it plays into his struggles against corners that like to bump and run that can
Yeah,
get him off schedule.
yeah. Don't kill my vibe
Don't
with
kill
that,
his
man.
vibe. Let him get vibing early on, and more than likely, if he's vibing early on, he's going to have a good game.
Yeah,
So that's a
he's
good
gonna have a
call.
good game.
That's a good call. That's a good call with the Kendrick Lamar. Let's see. Lorenzo.
Oh man, Lorenzo. So many songs. I'm thinking that Anthony Hamilton, Charlene, just because he just hit them ad libs, and it's just one of them. Everybody knows it. Everybody wants to sing it,
He
and
went straight
everybody knows he
Neo.
needs to get the ball. Yeah, he needs to get that ball, man. So he just that Charlene. It hits down here. It hits
Yeah.
down low when he gets the ball because it's gonna be a good result.
Ooh.
It's that home cooking right there.
We got a good one in the chat. Headlines. Drake.
Oh.
And I said,
He definitely can make some. He a headliner though, for sure.
yeah.
But it's like he only a headliner if they give him the rock. So
Facts.
it's gonna be important that if he gets the ball, he definitely can turn some heads like a headliner.
Let's go ahead and go to Braden Lindsay.
Oh man. Okay, I got this. He got to go Little Dicky and Chris Brown. Oh well, Freaky Friday, because I'm gonna need him to be in a Will Fuller body on game time and get some big explosive plays like Will Fuller. I need him to jump into that Will Fuller. Woke up feeling like Will Fuller and needs some speed down the field to get some touchdowns and explosive plays.
See, I would go like Breezy and Drake. I don't want to play no
Play
game.
no game. Yeah, I need some of that too. Hey, he done got into the song. He done got
Yeah, that's Braden. That's Braden for me, dude.
Yeah, I don't want to play no game. Okay. I like Freaky Friday because I need him to be beyond what he's doing now. I need him to turn into Will Fuller out there on that night.
Let's see. Michael Park says Audrey Estime needs to be LL Cool J.
I do not need him being smooth.
Oh man, look, Mama said knock you out.
Oh yeah, I like that one. I like that one.
So shout out to you, Never Lost Roamer. My favorite part of the show is when you guys go off topic, comparing players to songs or cookies like they did last week. Malik said Tyler Buckner is the fortune cookie. And the way you explained it was perfect. We wanted to make sure it didn't offend anybody. We wanted to make sure, and we're like, yo, because some people try to grab a hold of something, and the next thing you know what? This is Crip Dog. You're right, bro, because we have not given anybody Rick Ross. So for you, I agree. The whole D line should be Rick Ross.
Yeah, we need that.
Yes.
We need that.
Yes.
We need that.
Every day I'm hustling. Yeah.
Every day. Yeah, we need that.
Yeah, I like that. Woohoo! Did we miss anybody offensively?
I think we talked about all the people we needed to.
Dude. And the O-line.
O-line. What could the O-line use? That's a good one. I gotta think for a second.
Yeah, think about the O-line. For Marcus Freeman, dude, I'm gonna give him Kanye Powell.
Yep.
No one.
And I was thinking Monster for the O-line.
Yeah, I'm gonna give him Powell.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna give Marcus Freeman power from the show. I'm gonna give him the theme song. They say this is a big rich town. Yeah, I'll give That's Marcus Freeman's song. He got the theme song from Power.
So what are you giving Tommy?
Oh man. I just want to get Smooth Criminal, Michael Jackson. Dun, 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 dun. No, I need to give Tommy to knock me off my feet. Because I need to knock me off my feet on New Year's Day with his play caller. I need to see excitement. I need to be swept off my feet because we got the talent for it and it's time.
Right.
You know, there's no more scapegoating.
Right.
Ain't nobody else to blame it on.
Right.
You tried to fake us out with the Dale Alexander scapegoat. We not falling for it.
Right.
You know, we falling right on target who we need to be talking to. And that's the guy that needs to be making the difference right there.
Let's see. I got to play my Robert Hughes. Shout out. What's up, bro? Nelly, what does it take to be number one for the O-line?
Okay. I like that.
And Brandon Plenser is all good with that one. Okay. And you know what? I like this one for Marcus Freeman. That DJ Khaled. All I do is win. I can rock
It's
with
not
that.
bad. Not bad.
At 2011 GT, Tommy, Eminem song for Tommy.
He better not have no spaghetti. He better not have no mom's spaghetti. I need him to be locked in.
Well, you dug deep for this one, Michael Johnson. St. John Roses. St. John is super talented too, man.
Yeah, he is.
Super talented. Oh, Michael Mayer, Enter Sandman.
College football classic.
Man, just a musical classic, period. The drums on that bad fella. Like, I've told you this story before, right? Like,
what?
My entire family are either musicians or singers. And I am the only person that didn't get 1 ounce of musical talent. Not
Oh
1
my goodness.
ounce.
You
None.
could probably sing or something.
Huh?
You could probably sing or something.
No. My baby girl got it. You know, everybody of my entire family, they either write, play. I even have a younger brother who has Down syndrome, and he's taught himself how to play the drums, the bongos, and all of the percussions.
Oh my goodness.
He even has musical talent. I have zero.
You gotta figure that out. You gotta play the clarinet or something.
You think it's hidden somewhere?
It's gotta be. Maybe you just gotta keep searching. It's never too late. Music talent.
Let's see. Michael Mayer, Thunderstruck. All right. You want to? Oh man, the Halloween song, the theme song. I get it. The correlation. You know what? Woo! Man, I know we got to come out to the. Well, the band isn't traveling to the Fiesta Bowl, so I'm sure.
Real?
Yeah, so I'm sure a local Notre Dame will have a local band, your local high school band playing the theme song, or the alma mater for Notre Dame to run out to. But if they could run out the Triumph, bro. Woo! No disrespect to the alma mater. Like, you know, that's how you enter the stadium. That's cool, but it'd be cool, like for fights, for prize fights, like in big games. If football teams could choose like the music they run out to, that'd be dope. Because the dope, I'm sorry, when the Eagles came out to meet, hold up, wait a minute, y'all thought up. They came out to I was like, yo, it's
they
on.
was gonna win that game.
I'm like, yeah, they ready. I'm like, they're ready for this game. That'd be cool. If college football teams just for big moments would like bypass, you know, coming out to the regular fight song and actually choose a song that fits the moment to come out to. That'd be dope.
Clemson does a little bit of that when they had Deshaun Watson. They had a DJ that used to do stuff like that on big third downs or like when they came down the tunnel, he'll be playing something in the background that'd be tough. So I remember that specifically there.
Yo, that's crazy. Man, that's like, man, running down that little incline, that little hill, after you touch that rock, man. I guess after you do it the first time, you get over like I would be worried about twisting an ankle.
Oh, for sure. It looks slippery.
Man, especially with cleats on.
Mm-hmm.
But they do it. They do it. Let's see. Lindsay is bombs over Baghdad.
We need some of that.
Oh, for sure. Chris Brown go crazy.
I like Kanye's champion for the whole team, you know.
Right. Oh, I like that.
That's just, there you are, a champion. Yeah, we've been to win that thing.
Hey, now look. You know a song they could use for that fourth quarter at Notre Dame? Flashing Lights.
The light show? You don't believe in shooting stars? Yeah, they wouldn't do that. They ain't showing. They ain't gonna show love like that. They ain't gonna show love.
That part when they say shooting stars, they could put the camera on the recruits.
See, you might as well have to get that recruiting coordinator job.
You know what I'm saying, man? You gotta be different.
I'm saying.
We spend it different. Yeah. Eugene said Barry Bonds or Flashing Lights. Yeah,
Flashing lights, yeah, they got some.
That would be incredible. Dude, yo. Hey,
you might have something.
Hey, we spend it different. We're trying to help you out.
We spend it different Notre Dame. Look, we trying to get ready, man. We done gave you the breakdown of how this game gonna go. The only thing left is damn near the score, right?
Yeah, we're gonna give you the score tomorrow because that's it's a formality. Say that we both know who's gonna win the game. It's just by how much. And then tomorrow's gonna be our special best of show, like our biggest moment.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Top 5 games of the year, top 5 moments
games
of the year, top 5 most important players of the year. So we'll get to that tomorrow and some more from the press conferences and coverage of the Fiesta Bowl. But right now, you know what time it is.
Yeah, it's that.
Petticoat, Petticoat Junction.
It's time to get petty.
Oh, we did a good job executing. Now, are you upset with something?
And fire up the Petticoat Junction train.
I just don't like you. You don't? No.
What is today's petty historic?
Petty Junction each and every day. And I have to throw all these teams that are backing out these bowl games on the petty train, man.
Yeah.
Setting a really bad trend. All these top players just opting out. And we can get into it, bro, because it really causes for a deeper discussion. And let me get back to the screen so we can really dig into this, man. Look, something has to be done. And at some point, everybody that makes up the greatest game in the world, which in my opinion is college football, from the players to the students to the administration to the presidents to the NCAA to the presidents of these conferences. Look, man, get it right. All right? We know it's about the bag. We know everybody wants the bag. But at some point, when you start messing with the product, there's no way the Rose Bowl should be born, bro. There's no way the Rose Bowl should be a snoozer. Are you kidding me? The granddaddy of them all? Man, I don't want to watch that of Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave and all. What? What are we talking about? You have guys that are projected to be going in the 3rd and 4th round, backing out. And that's not a shot at Kyron because, Kyron was projected.
It's not a shot at Kyron because Kyron,
But for us, we believe Kyron is the number 1 back. That's why I say and Drew Rosenhaus, who is his agent,
Drew Rosenhaus feel like that too.
feels
Yeah,
like
for
that
sure.
too. So now I feel like Kyron's gonna hop up into the second round. So
You don't have to. He's
if
not
you're
leaving the
saving
second round.
yourself, if you're Kyle Hamilton and you know
You
without
gotta
shadow
go.
of
Yeah, you
doubt
gotta.
going the first round, by all means.
Ain't nobody say we're not even talking to you.
Yeah, we're not even talking to you. But all these cats that are projected third and fourth round, look, man, at some point, all you guys got to sit in the room and say, hey, the product is more important than everything else.
Yeah, and just because you're like, man, it's my last time playing. Like, and you're gonna have to look back, even if you get nicked, and let's say you miss like the first game of your rookie year. Once you healthy, you like, dang, I missed my whole last college game for what? Nothing for real.
And it's like UCLA backing out the day of the game. It's like, man, what are y'all doing? What are we doing?
Not the day before the game.
Like,
yeah, you playing.
Look, I was always against expansion because I always felt like, dude, I don't need to watch Alabama against the number 8 or the number 12 team.
Nobody want to see that. Nobody want to see that.
I don't need to see that.
They need like 2 first-round buys before,
right? But like, if we are at 8 teams this year, that means Kyle Hamilton's playing. That means Kyron's playing. That means Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson are playing. So now I'm kind of behind expansion happening. Like, yo, we need to get this done because these great players, if they're in the college football playoff, more than likely they're going to play. And if you expand to 8, that covers the New Year's 6 bowls. And they mean something now. Right now, the Rose Bowl means absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
And that's despicable to be able to sit here and say, as a college football fan, that the Rose Bowl means absolutely nothing. The Sugar Bowl means absolutely. It's like, come on, man. Well, not the Sugar Bowl, but there's certain bowls that I don't like the way this is going. I just don't. And I understand it's isolated because of COVID. I understand that. But what's not isolated because of COVID is these players opting out. Like, you had players on Auburn opting out. I'm like, for what?
Yeah, against Houston? Really? You going to get hurt against Houston?
Like, for what? It's like, and then people saying the NFL needs to get involved. The NFL wants them to sit out.
Yeah, no, they don't.
Yeah, NFL is like, yeah, sit out.
Because my thing is, you sit out in a game like that, but then you go play an all-star game, which is way more probable that you'll get hurt doing stuff like that. Then you're on your own for real. So I do think, man, get your film while you can, man. Don't rest on you hoping you run a good 40 or something. Get your film because that's what really matters. And it's really just been polarized in the media about sitting out. And it's become something where it's another thing that gives a guy attention, another thing where it gets a guy something to be talked about. But in reality, it's like, man, nobody cares, number one. And the only impact it's having is the guys that you're walking away from. You know, I mean, it's not really affecting the fans or anything, but if you're going to be a fourth, third round guy, you sitting out is only hurting your draft chances. You know, like we said, it's different for Kyron because we think Kyron is deserved to be the number 1. We know Kyle Hamilton going, so he ain't even talking about. With a guy like a Kane Madden, for instance, I would never expect him to sit out just because we know that if you're not in the first 2 rounds, you really need to be playing.
Still 4th team All-American, baby.
Nah, your ass need to be taking the 4th snap of the game. You need to be in the game. But it's not even, you know, I'm saying it and it sounds like it's selfish for the fans, but it's really for the player. You know, it's nothing better than for a personal reason to go out with your guys after the long season, have a bowl week with them, go out with them, you know, have good experiences because that's what you remember after the season anyway. Bowl gifts and stuff.
Yeah.
And not everything's business. Yeah, you're gonna be doing the business for a long time, and you will always remember skipping it out when you didn't need to. You know, you didn't have to. Now, if you injury prone and you got a torn shoulder going into the game, yeah, sit out. You know, don't hurt yourself. But if you healthy and you talking about you afraid of something, you might as well not even play football no more.
Yo, on top of that, for me, and like you said, man, we got comments. Question here, Alan Krantz, will you regret not playing with your bros for your last game? At this point, I mean, look, Cal Hamilton, and I've been very open about this, like seeing him at the Marcus Freeman press conference and walking in behind Marcus Freeman and being part of the leadership committee on the player side that spoke with Jack Swarbrick. Cal Hamilton was, you can see, he just wanted to play with his guys. He wanted to play with his guys, but it makes no sense. It makes no sense to take that chance, especially not in a game that's directly connected to the college football playoff. He's projected to be a top 5 pick. And I don't blame him one bit. Is he going to miss not playing with his bros? Absolutely. Absolutely. But other than that, no, it was absolutely the right decision to make. And even though Kyron right now is projected like 3rd round, I think Kyron is the number 1 back overall. The number 1 all-around running back in the nation. I think he's proved it over the last 2 years. And I think when he gets into workouts, combine, pro day at Notre Dame, I think Kyron's going to prove that he's that dude. So
yeah, if I'm Kyle Hamilton, I'm definitely not thinking twice about it because I mean,
no.
top 5 pick, man. Listen, y'all can come to the draft party, man. We go out, we do, but you supposed to be happy for me in this moment. We can't. It ain't nothing about play. I did play. That's how I even got this chance. I'm definitely going to grab that money. Kyron is more like I understand because as him in that position, he already got 1,000 carries on his body. I'm not trying to squeeze nothing else out of it, especially when we all believe that he is the first back taken or he should be taken just because his talent. He's graduated from the game, in my opinion. If you graduate from the game, it makes sense. But, you just got to weigh your pros and cons. That's what it is.
So that's, everybody. I'm putting everybody. I'm not just identifying the NCAA. I'm not identifying teams like UCLA doing what they did yesterday. The players, everybody. Like, yo, this direction that we're going in with college football is dangerous. It's very dangerous. And when January 1st is no longer important, like the only reason I'm watching football on January 1st is because of Notre Dame. That's it.
Yeah.
Right? Because the big game's on New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
The big game's on the 31st. The only reason I'm watching football on January 1st, and this might sound blasphemous. I actually thought about my family wants to do breakfast together on New Year's Day, and they want to go to the big outlet mall in Rosemont and shop. And that would cut right into the Notre Dame game. I thought about it, bro. I'm going to be honest. I thought about it. The reason I thought about it, because I'm really confident in this game, number one.
Yeah.
I got DVR.
Hey, undefeated.
And, if I get back in the middle of the second quarter, I just start from the beginning. I'll be behind you guys a little bit, but guess what? We still talking about it on the post-game show.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. So, look, that's, I would have never done that. Would have never done that if the vibes were different. And the vibes are changing around college football. I don't like it. And everybody is culpable. Everybody's in the pot. And everybody needs to do something to change the situation.
No,
I just don't like, and I'm not hating on guys going to get their bag. I'm all for getting the bag.
Yeah, get the bag.
I'm for the NIL bag. I'm for the recruiting bag. See, I don't have a problem with duffel bags. I have zero problems with duffel bags, bro. I'm all for the getting the bag. But at some point, when the vibe and the package starts looking bad, I'm not with that. I'm not with that.
No.
And when the Rose Bowl is mid, it was already mid because we knew Ohio State was gonna smash. Ohio State's
But that's what makes it mid to me is the team be mid. It's really an arms race, like we talked to Jerron about yesterday. Them top 3 teams, the only teams that's worth even wanting to watch at a certain point. Nobody's turning on that Big
you
Ten
know what?
championship to watch Northwestern.
I'll push back just a little bit, right? Because even if, and this is brands, this is why brands are so important. Let's say USC didn't make the college football playoff, but they won the Pac-12. You still rocking if it's an Ohio State USC matchup in the Rose Bowl?
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm saying the opponents against these teams.
Oh yeah, like
ain't nobody want to
State.
watch Ohio State in the Rose Bowl versus anybody that's not Alabama, Clemson, or Notre Dame potentially. Them playing against Fresno State or UCLA or that's what doesn't make it exciting for me to watch it. But in Ohio State playing a Notre Dame in the Rose Bowl, or you a good USC or a great Oklahoma, that's definitely worth watching.
So it's like, and Search of Green 9 said, I love Kyron, but I haven't seen a mock draft where he's at top 3 back taken. Well, we gave you Mel Kiper's big board, and he's a 3rd running back.
I don't even trust these drafts. I trust no drafts until the draft comes.
What we're saying is, I'm sorry, he's a better all-around back than running back.
He a better he way better than Kenneth Walker all around. If you just talk about all around back, I'm taking him over Kenneth Walker.
Take his full complement of film, and somebody that knows talent is going to identify it amongst the 32 teams and say, you know what?
Kyron would probably go to a Carolina. You know, he fit down there with Christian McCaffrey or
well, they're about to have a new more than likely. I don't know if he wants to go there.
Shit, they might be there for the draft. You know, especially a mid-round guy.
Well, I could tell him, don't come to Chicago.
Well, he might end up there. He might end up somewhere like the Chargers, man. You never know.
So everybody is in the chat talking about Ohio State needs to beware. Man, look, let me tell y'all something. If Ohio State was coming in with the clip full, Utah had no chance. Utah don't have no DBs to cover them dudes, man. And it ain't snowing.
It ain't snowing. Not out here. Not out here. No, it's not.
From that Michigan game and think, no. Utah has nothing in that defensive backfield.
Nothing for them boys.
To deal with them dudes. And the fact that they're opting out, Utah has a chance.
Yeah, Utah, a chance. They have a chance.
No,
so that'll be a good game. But if nobody said
first of all, this is a lie. We never said that Georgia was going to roll Bama. We never said that. Roll Bama?
I said it was the Bama Invitational.
That's what you said. See, people don't listen. People don't listen. Right?
I said it was the Bama Invitational.
For me, I was on Georgia from day one.
Yeah, we definitely said Georgia going to the end.
Last I checked, Georgia has an opportunity to avenge that loss. Right?
Yeah, Georgia gonna play again. It's just I just know that they were better than everybody else. But it's still Bama Invitation.
I hope he's talking to me. I never said they were going to roll Alabama. I said they were going to win by 10 points. That was my prediction. That's not rolling somebody.
Yeah, definitely not rolling them.
That's not rolling somebody. So please go find the clip. Please go find the clip. I wasn't impressed with Alabama against Auburn, right?
Or Florida.
But no one has talked about Bryce Young and the wide receivers at Alabama more than me. Nobody.
Yeah, you've been talking about Jameson Williams for a minute.
For a minute. Since like game 1. I'm like, yo, how did this dude not get on the
Transfer,
field?
yeah. He's like, how did this dude go from
This
Ohio
dude's
State to
That shows you how dope Ohio State's wide receivers are. Like,
Yeah.
and I didn't say it just on Lucky Lefty. I said it on Irish Breakdown podcast that I was on. Like, how did this dude not get on the field at Ohio State? And now he's at Alabama killing. Absolutely.
As the best one, as the best receiver.
Absolutely. Was I disappointed? I'm like, dude. It's like, man, people, this is why you have to don't have a problem being different. We're not PC. We don't hide behind what everybody else is going to say. We're bold enough to jump out there and actually make a prediction that everybody else and their mama are not saying. Right?
That's right.
Like everybody's saying, oh, Utah has a chance. You know why Utah has a chance? Because Ohio State
they don't have
aren't playing.
And Ohio State's defense not like it has been in a couple of years.
That's it. And Utah runs the ball. So you know what they're going to do against Ohio State? They're going to try to do the same thing. They're going to try to do the same thing that Michigan did. Run the ball, be physical.
But it ain't cold out here, baby.
What did C.J. Stroud tell you in New York? When
he's like, if it wasn't cold, we whooping that ass too.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. C.J. Stroud told him, yo, if it wasn't snowing and in the cold, we'd have hung 40 on them dudes.
Easy.
Man, don't get it twisted. Please don't get it twisted. Styles make fights. Ain't enough DBs in Utah to run with that wide receiver core.
No.
Dude, I bet you to say without his boys, and Jibba Smith still has 10 catches for over 100 yards.
Yeah, He's going to go crazy. He's going to go crazy because he's going to
go crazy without Garrett Wilson. So that's a preview. That's a preview of what Cam Hart is going to have to look at. Game 1.
Oh, yes.
Like when you watch the Rose Bowl, watching Jibba Smith.
But Cam Hart has got a good size for an Njigba, though.
Yeah.
He's got a good size for him. So I'm excited, but, you know, he's definitely going to have his hands
Now he's changing the goalpost. Watch this. You said Georgia had the natty locked up. Where's Georgia?
I said they was going to be in that thing, though. I did say that. I said they were going to be in the conversation.
And I still think Georgia's going to win the national championship. So what's your point? Until they lose in the college football playoff,
you still have
a chance to win a national championship.
You're definitely right.
So we've gone from like clipping and saying they were going to roll Alabama to now saying I said they're going to win the national championship. They're in the college football playoff.
Yeah, they definitely can win that thing still.
So you can go get the tape from this podcast, go get the tape from Irish Breakdown. Me and Brian Driscoll disagreed on their defense multiple times. I think if they play Alabama, they'll be better prepared and definitely not having met you. It's going to be huge.
It's going to be huge.
It's going to be huge. I think, man,
it's hard to beat a team twice anyway.
I'll be honest, bro. I'll be honest. Because of that, styles make fights, right? If there was one team to catch Alabama in the semifinal, it's Cincinnati with the two lockdown corners, bro. Them lockdown corners, but Bryce is so cold. Bryce will find a way. But early on, the ability of having two lockdown corners and not having a typical running game that Alabama has. See, that's the difference.
They get run against Cincinnati.
But Cincinnati early on, this is my point. Cincinnati early, if you can put, I can't wait. I can't wait to watch Jameson against Sauce. I can't wait.
Yeah, the corner receiver matchup, Bama versus Cincinnati, is probably the best all year.
I need both of them mic'd up too. I need both of them mic'd up because you know that's going to
Cincinnati not going to be talking, man. They're going to be shitting their pants.
No, Sauce is going to talk.
They're going to be shitting their pants in the beginning.
That's going to be some premium trash talk, I need that mic'd up. I need like TikTok to come in and sponsor. Both of them cats being mic'd up.
Did you forget that we're talking about St. Nicholas Saban?
See, you talking about the game. I'm just talking about the matchup, dude. I'm just talking
That's
about
what I'm talking about. You think
I'm talking about Jameson.
you think
Look,
Nicholas Saban gonna let them boys shine harder than the receivers? Absolutely not.
No. See, you're missing my point. You're missing my point. My point is this will be because Eli was hurt against Alabama, right?
Mm-hmm.
Eli was hurt against Alabama for LSU, and Stingley was hurt. So it's very safe to say these might be the best duo of cornerbacks that Alabama faces all year.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
You know what I'm saying? So don't get it twisted. Sauce is gonna win. He's gonna win some plays against Jameson.
Yeah.
He's gonna win some plays, and Jameson is gonna win some plays too. It's just a matter of when Jameson does win. That could be to the house, especially if Cincinnati's going man to man like they usually do.
Alabama's offensive line gonna give Bryce so much time now. It's gonna be hard for
Yeah.
them corners.
But
It's gonna be hard for them corners.
I will say this. Cincinnati has better speed rushes than Georgia off the edge. And we're talking strictly speed rushes. Georgia has, Georgia's stout, but that speed
Alabama's offensive line.
They should have They should have dominated.
They have
Auburn,
out-recruited.
right?
They have out-recruited Cincinnati.
Absolutely.
Auburn's defensive line is way bigger than Cincinnati's defensive line.
But they're not. Dude, if you think Alabama's just about to come out from the first play and push Cincinnati around, you're gonna get a big wake-up call. That's not happening in the first quarter. That's not happening in the first quarter. Not the first quarter.
Alabama's offensive line is way too big for Cincinnati.
Dude, we talked about it. Them, Stanford,
Evan Neal,
Ohio State. You know what, man? Alabama's offensive linemen get a lot of pub, but when they get on the next level, they don't outperform Notre Dame O-linemen, dude.
That's true. I agree, because they don't have a Harry Heastand. They don't have a Harry Heastand. Harry get them boys that technique. Alabama get them boys them size.
Right. Facts.
So we don't really, Ronnie wasn't no big bruiser, but Ronnie out there making 100 M's blocking for the hardest guy in the league to block for.
Right. See, this is my thing. Like, if Alabama O-line plays like they did against Auburn, dude, don't act like
you think St. Nick.
Wait a minute.
You think St. Nick's going
to. Has Alabama's O-line been inconsistent all year?
Not if they get 15 games of practice.
Malik.
Not if they get 15 practices.
We're not talking. Answer the question. Has Notre Dame's O-line been inconsistent all year?
They've been getting better each week.
Have they been inconsistent?
Inconsistent means that they were bad week 6, but better in week 1. They've been getting better each week.
You're the teacher that gives a bunch of extra credit to your students, dude, to cover up the misanswers on the test.
Listen, no. Notre Dame's offensive line, we only got better each week. We never took a step back. So, no, he wasn't inconsistent.
So what you saying? You saying Bama's offensive line took a step back?
Bama's offensive line has been inconsistent because how do you block how you do against Georgia and then look like you did against Florida, and Florida just lost to UCF?
Well, once again, Georgia's best defensive end and premium speed rusher is suspended and might be facing jail time over an assault case.
It's bigger than one guy. That defense is bigger than one guy.
Man. That's like saying, wait a minute. That's like, okay, take Isaiah Foskey away from Notre Dame's third down pass rush.
Wait a minute. We're not a Georgia-style defense. If you take Isaiah Foskey away from us, we're not Notre Dame.
Isaiah Foskey not playing wouldn't make a difference?
No, I'm saying Isaiah Foskey not on our defense will make us not the same, 100%.
Okay.
Georgia's defense is not defined by one guy.
But they don't have any more premium pass rushers other than that one guy. So how can it not make a difference?
We're living in the prison of the moment because Bama is just that good.
No.
They can make it look like
no, because you saw the difference in the previous 3 games that he didn't play when they weren't getting to the quarterback as consistent as they had been.
Listen, I'm not convinced that one guy.
Alabama's not overlooking Cincinnati.
Of course not, but Alabama is not in fear of Cincinnati either.
No.
Yeah, absolutely not. So
Why
I think it's another. No, I'm saying Alabama would not. Cincinnati is more in fear of playing Bama than Bama's playing.
Cincinnati's not scared of Alabama, man. Stop. It's a difference. Wait a minute. It's a difference in being scared of somebody and just getting beat.
So you think this is just going to be a regular, just a straight up game, Cincinnati, Alabama?
You think Notre Dame was scared of Alabama when they walked on the field last year? That Notre Dame squad wasn't scared of Alabama, man. Not scared. They just got beat.
I think the coaching staff was. That's
a totally different conversation. That's a totally different conversation. Like Notre Dame wasn't scared of Clemson when they got to the ACC championship game.
No, we definitely wasn't scared of no Clemson. But Bama's just a different.
My whole point was when they got to the ACC championship game, it was one player that didn't play in the regular season game that was playing in that ACC championship.
But we're better than Clemson without Trevor Lawrence. You know what I mean? We can beat a Clemson without a Trevor Lawrence.
You said we're better than Clemson without Trevor Lawrence?
Without Trevor Lawrence, we're better than a Clemson.
You talking about the program or you talking about specifically this year?
I'm talking about both. I'm talking about both.
I mean, that depends on
you take Deshaun Watson. You take Deshaun Watson and Trevor from Clemson. We're a better program than Clemson.
This is the point. This is the point, right? No. This is the point we've been talking about all week, right? And where the microscope and where the spotlight should really go, right? Because for all of that, right? Cade Klubnik is headed to South Carolina, bro. He ain't headed to South Bend. When you can talk about who's better.
Yeah, Cade Klubnik is that guy.
Cade Klubnik is headed to South Carolina.
We're going to see what he's talking about.
The quarterbacks. We talk about the difference makers in the quarterbacks that have come to South Bend. We can't pull one. There's been a difference.
We can't pull a Cade. We can't pull a Cade Klubnik.
Oh, they missed on DJ, so they just went ahead and got another one.
Yeah, they said, "Oh, we're good on DJ. We got."
Yeah, we identified early. He ain't it. Let's go get the next one. That's all I'm saying. So you can talk about the program. You can talk about the talent being similar to Clemson. At the end of the day, if Cade Klubnik ends up being who we think he is, Clemson's gonna be right back in the hunt.
Yeah, Clemson's gonna be right.
They're gonna be right back in the hunt. You can talk all you want. Clemson's gonna be right back in the hunt. Why? Because they got a difference maker at quarterback.
But that's it. Other than that, Clemson's not better than us. Other than that,
yeah, I don't disagree with that. We saw that in the regular season game. But once that difference maker got on that field, it looked totally different. Now,
that's right.
The Notre Dame defense might have been scared of that difference maker.
Yeah, but I mean, whatever.
Let's see. Christopher Galloway, edge rushers don't equal edge setters. I don't know what that means. Michigan has 2 edge rushers. They
have 2 edge setters. I'm not a fan of either Hutchinson.
They don't. I mean, we felt like Anderson was better than both of them.
By far.
Hutchinson shouldn't have been in New York. Dude, they don't affect the running game. You see how Michigan State bullied them.
Yeah, Michigan State came back. And Michigan State came back on this team running the football. I've never seen no shit like that ever.
Not even passing, just straight.
How you come back on a team running the ball?
And it's not even about. We're not talking about the conversation we were having is like the edge rushers being able to impact Bryce Young, right? Because right now Georgia they don't have an edge rusher unless one of their youngsters pops up in these 15 practices in preparation for the bowl game and they find a youngster that's developed, and it could happen. You know, a youngster could develop during the year and all of a sudden, you know, he becomes part of the rotation. He makes an impact in the semifinals and the finals. I'm just telling you, there's more speed coming off the edge for Cincinnati.
We'll see this weekend, man.
And that's a fact. Searcher Green is being petty now, dude. Yeah, but we got Angeli.
We're gonna find out about Angeli.
I hope you're not comparing. Well, you know what? We have to let it play out.
Yeah, we gotta let it play out. I don't know.
We all feel like Cade is gonna be that dude. Hey, after watching DJ against Notre Dame, I was like, okay.
I wasn't.
Like he's all right.
No, because what team doesn't play great against us?
He threw for Stop playing.
What quarterback doesn't play great against us?
He threw for 400. Come on, man.
Yeah, he played great, but like
you thought he was gonna be a scrub?
No, I thought the game was gonna be close, but we was gonna win in the end. Like it was. But I didn't think we was gonna limit DJ to like Devin Gardner numbers.
Right. I'll take a bet right now. Christopher Galloway. I'll take a bet. Bama won't run for more than 120 yards as a team.
Is Cincinnati?
120.
Yeah, because they're going to have 5 million passing yards.
Since y'all think they just going to run the ball down Cincy's throat.
No, they're going to throw the ball.
Put your money where your mouth is. 120 yards.
They won't need it.
I won't take it. That should be 200 easy. That should be 200
I won't take it because they'll have 4,000 passing yards. I think they're looking at it like we're playing against Cincinnati. We're not about to hype them up like they really bigger than what they are. Right. We're going to just do what we do every week. And Bryce Young's a Heisman winner. You think they're not going to be like, hey, get back in that pocket and show us why you're a Heisman?
Hey, so basically this proves my point. Michael Johnson said Clemson couldn't run the ball against Notre Dame that game. All they had was the pass. So basically you're telling me the freshman didn't have a complimentary running game and still threw for 400. I mean, that's like, it's hard when a team makes you one-dimensional as a freshman.
And you fry them one-dimensionally, yeah.
And you still throw for 400? That makes it look even better.
That wasn't a good comment. Yeah, that wasn't a good comment. That makes it
look even better.
That was a good comment.
Run the ball at the edge rushers. All right, that's fine. All I'm telling you is that there's only really one. Well, I won't say one elite without Mechie. Right? What's the slot receiver? He's going to be huge. Him and Billingsley, the kid from Chicago that plays tight end. They're going to be huge this game.
Look, I'm not worried about Bama. Cincinnati needs to be worried. Luke Fickle needs to be worried.
What do you mean? He's facing Alabama. He was worried when he came in the Notre Dame stadium.
He wasn't worried playing us. He had his quarterback talking about, we're going to do this and that.
He was worried. Look, he was worried because he played close to the vest. Go watch the game, bro. Cincinnati played close to the vest. They did not want to make a mistake because they knew.
They didn't want to make a mistake, but Desmond Ridder went in there talking crazy. He ain't talking. I haven't seen Desmond Ridder going like, we can't.
Desmond Ridder wasn't doing anything early.
Why is Desmond Ridder not going into the meetings talking about, we're about to do this and this to Alabama. Yeah, we can't wait for this. They ain't talking like that.
I haven't paid attention to their press conferences. I haven't paid attention.
You couldn't find it. Doesn't exist. He ain't in there. You think Luke will let Desmond Ridder go in there and be like, we about to go handle Nick Saban defense. We're not worried about Nick Saban defense.
My whole point is
no, they're not.
My whole point is they told that dude, Mike Denbrock told him, hey, be cool. Did he not? Mike Denbrock told him, hey, be cool. So it wasn't like the coaching staff didn't pull his coattail in the middle of the week like, hey, you tripping a little bit.
But they don't have to pull his coattail. He know he ain't talking crazy. You think he's sitting there in his room being like, yeah, all the coaches is stopping me from talking about Bama. No. His ass in the film room being like, okay, Will Anderson on third down is gonna look like this. I need to be ready. Yeah, cut it out. He against us, he's like, yeah, Notre Dame.
Hey,
I've been circling it on the calendar. I can't wait to play Notre Dame.
After watching Notre Dame's defensive front against Cincinnati's O-line, because that's what we forget, how good Notre Dame's defense actually played that game.
Yeah, they played good. Yeah,
but our offense actually putting them in bad positions and short fields and giving Cincinnati points. Anderson's gonna have a field day, my brother. Anderson might come away with like 4 sacks in this game, bro.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm like, what the heck? Ain't nobody. Yeah, Cincinnati, they're a bunch of front runners, but it's okay.
And don't get me wrong, like we both feel like Notre Dame would beat Cincinnati if they played on January
4th. Yeah. Cincinnati just feels less intimidated by playing us.
Yeah. And that's not, wait a minute, they shouldn't feel less intimidated.
No, like now they're more intimidated. But with BK, they weren't intimidated.
Let's see. Shaun, Malik, what's the schedule on the podcast for after the game? Every day?
Yeah, we there. There's news, hot news every day, man.
Every day. We're here every day.
That's right.
We'll find content to talk about when it comes to Notre Dame every day. I think he took the bet 120. You're not getting my Sox hats. You can take anything else.
I'm not taking that bet. Ain't no way I'm taking that bet.
Yeah. I think that's it, bro. Thank you to everybody that joined us today. Man, we gave you 2 hours of content today. Join us tomorrow for our best of show. Have your list ready. Best moments of the year, best games of the year, and the top 5 players of the year. We'll talk about it and we'll dig more and give our predictions for the Fiesta Bowl. I've been on record saying it's going to be a double-digit victory. So, from my guy, Malik Zaire at Overtime Malik, I'm Shaun Davis at SD2 Mics. Don't forget, you can find us also on Apple Podcasts. Just search A2S Network, and you get our podcast each and every day. Subscribe, share, hit the like button. Hit the like button on the Luckky Lefty Podcast YouTube channel. Man, we appreciate you guys. It's almost game day, man. It's almost game day. So we'll talk to you guys. Appreciate you guys so much, LL Nation. Until tomorrow morning, we bid you adieu. Go Irish. Spend it different today.